Hello again, guys. So we have finished the glyph wall, and now we have some optional quests here, or we can just keep pushing on forward. Which, we've got the submerged passage, but I forgot to actually discover the waypoint for it. So now we are actually going to have to go from the coast through the mudflats again and to submerged passage. Now, haven't decided yet, but I might just cut all this out just for the sake of time because we've already been through there. Monsters will have respawned because I wouldn't have been in there for the past 15 minutes, I think. Something like that. They respawn after you haven't been there for a little while, but I mean, it's nothing but random. Well, not random, but it's pretty much the same monsters, enemies, whatever that was there the first time. Alright, so we're here. While we were here, I was trying to just run through as much of it as possible, but I did have to get into a little bit of combat, and you will notice that I now have the Siege Ballista ability that came from a talent that came from a gem that I picked up in another episode that I had recorded, and it seems like I had accidentally changed some settings in OBS and didn't realize it, and the whole episode was bad. Luckily, it was only an optional quest that I ended up doing, so it shouldn't mess with, any of the timeline or the story. And I really wish it wouldn't have, really wish I wouldn't have messed it up though, because it was a pretty good episode, other than the settings being messed up. So that Siege Ballista gem was ready to level up, and I know there's a waypoint somewhere in here. Okay, it's just right here. There we go. Now we have to find our way through the other side of here. That is a dead end looking up at the map. And this is what the Siege Ballista does. You actually drop it down, and it's a stationary ballista that actually helps you attack things. And what I had mentioned in the episode that now won't be aired, is I could really see some fun uses with that. Well, I guess maybe not fun, but some practical uses for it, such as having the ability to kite around it while it does damage. If you can't get like a enemy to get off of you, you just have that much aggro on them. Just drop the ballista down and kite around it so it's doing damage while you're running. Because even though the ranger is a little mobile and able to kind of deal damage from afar, run, and then, deal damage again, you still... Ooh, Blood Princess. You still have to kind of stop for a second. So if you're really getting down on health, and say you've used up all of your charges for your health flask or something, it would be kind of cool to just be able to not have to stop running. I'll throw that bad boy down and just run. And they will begin to attack it, but unless... Well, actually, I guess he must have got hit pretty hard at that point. Because normally it seems like they will hang around.
That would only slow me down.
It'll hang around until there's nothing else left to attack, from what I've gathered playing around with it. Unless it's, destroyed. Okay, here we go. I thought I was lost there for a second. Well, I guess kind of am lost. Not like I really know how to get through here. That's why they call it a blind playthrough. Here we go. Oh, what do I have to kill these things twice? Huh. They drop their shell the first time you deplete their health bar. I don't know why it doesn't just show as like some of these guys have shields that show. I don't know why it doesn't show like yellow or something for armor. Man, there are a lot of these things in here. Are they getting spawned or something? They didn't move out of that one little spot the whole time. Probably would have been a good place for the Ballista. Okay. Looks like he's dead. Oh, okay, see? More of them. We'll throw the Ballista down. Oh, sorry about this. If you can hear this in the background.
My mana is gone.
Mana is gone. Okay, 5. I got this new mana flask whenever I had recorded said previous episode that we talked about earlier. And it's actually kind of neat. It actually gives a little bit less than the regular small flask, but it gives half of it right up front, and then the other half it gives to you faster, because the original flask was like 5-second time, and this one is 2.6, and it gives you 45 instead of 60, but it gives you half of it up front. So it's pretty nice, because if you're killing things rather fast using spells, then you're gonna get... Ooh, level up. You're gonna get the charges back anyway, because you gain the charges as you kill monsters or enemies. I'm not sure if it's... Is it kill? Yeah, as you kill. Not damage. But you gain the charges back as you kill, and, I mean, at least in the normal play, I'm not sure about later on where you start doing more boss fights, but in the normal play, you're going to be gaining charges fairly quickly, I would assume. And it's nice to get that, you know, chunk of mana right up front, especially if you let yourself go all the way out of mana. I like it anyway. Especially since it seems like all the other ones, like whenever they start getting bigger, they give you more back, but they also take longer to give you the more back. And if you're really in a pinch and you really need some more mana, then you just have to sit there and wait for it. Or you would have to kind of pause between spells or something like that. Whatever your preferred method of trying to conserve mana is, or work between your regeneration. I personally think they should have went a different way with spells for the ranger class itself. I think they should have gotten something that starts off at full, and then as you use it, it depletes, but then it regains. Your mana does that too, but in combat, the regeneration is a lot lower, and I think it should regen fairly quickly. Just because, I mean, think about it. You're not using... Why would a ranger be using mana? It's not a magic class. I mean, that's just my thoughts about rangers across any game, not just this one. Any game where a ranger or a hunter, rogue, anything like that, if they're using mana. I've always thought it was kind of odd. I mean, yeah, some of these, it's kind of like a spell type effect. You're shooting a fire arrow, you're splitting arrows, but all of that can be thought of in a way where it's not magic. I mean, what if you're simply lighting your arrow on fire? Or what if for the split arrow, you're pulling a Legolas from, you know, Lord of the Rings and just putting multiple arrows in your bow and firing them all off at the same time? None of that would be magic. It would just take concentration for you to do. Maybe that's what the resource could be called. Concentration. Have it, you know, refill as it's used. I mean, not so fast that you could just infinitely spam abilities, but fast enough so that whenever you deplete, you could just wait a second before, you know, you had enough to use more. You know, and then it wouldn't sound so silly whenever you run out and your character says the little tidbit, you know, just be, you know, I don't have enough concentration for that right now. And at least I don't think that sounds too bad. So we got out. Oh, this is already broken. Did we? Tell me we didn't just run around in a circle. Scroll of Wisdom, and now I'm on my way back to the town. Because if that's true, I'm going to be so embarrassed. Oh. Come on. Another Scroll of Wisdom. These are always nice. Pretty much like the Identify scrolls from Diablo. It looks like I still have a talent. Uh-oh, what is this? He had green around him a second ago. Something has an aura. Yep, whatever that is. Grinning Totem. Allies move and attack faster. Well, let's get rid of it. There we go. Oh, well, looks like I killed everything anyway.
That would only slow me down.
Oh, I don't really need it anyway. It's a hatchet. Though I guess it would be kind of nice to have something... Ooh, portal scroll. It would be kind of nice to have something I could use whenever they got up close, but since there's no minimum range... since there's no minimum range for using the bow, I don't really think it matters too much. And since we're using armor that's not too heavy, you don't really want them being real close anyway. Orb of Chance. Those are actually quite nice whenever you have... what am I going to throw out? We'll just throw that out because we don't need it. When you have a piece of gear that, say it's not all that great, and you're just going to throw it out anyway, you could use that and there's a chance that it'll gain magical properties. And they could work out really well, and they could work out not so well at all. So, I mean, if you use it on an item you were just going to throw out anyway, and it makes it awesome, well, then you can use it. And then if it doesn't really make it awesome, at least you can still sell it to gain some of that, some of the different things that you get for trading items. I mean, it'll obviously be a better item once it's been enhanced, whether or not it's better than whatever you had. I mean, obviously you want it to end up working out in your favor, but if it doesn't, I mean, it still kind of works out in your favor. The way I see it anyway. Maybe I'm wrong. Alright, so we discovered the waypoint for this area. Let's use this Ballista more often. We discovered the waypoint for this area, and we leveled up again. Nice. But I still haven't received any quests or anything like that. Those other two that I have are just optional, and I might end up doing them later. Maybe for the next episode I'll do one or both of them. depending on how long they take. The last optional that I did really didn't take that long, so I probably could have done more than one and edited out some of the parts where I was just kind of walking around. But I have not picked up any more main parts of the quest, and I know sometimes that just kind of happens whenever you walk up to something or you kill an essential boss or whatever, and then it says, oh hey, you did something important, so now you should go speak to somebody for a reward, even though you're just kind of like, well, how was it important? Why didn't anybody tell me it was important? I would have done it already. So I guess we'll just keep trucking along and just figure out where we're gonna go from here. It looks like I've gone pretty far into here, considering the path has only been on the ledge. But I'm pretty sure it's either gonna open way up or I'm gonna find the entrance to the next area. Large mana flask. Now see this siege ballista. Okay, he must it's not a he or she, but it must have some sort of time limit built into it. It has, I know it disappears. It disappears when there's nothing else for it to attack. And it also disappears. Oh, I did not want to do that. It also disappears if it takes too much damage, because it actually pops up with a health meter right up here in the corner. But it doesn't pop up with any type of time limit. But I have noticed a few times now that there have been enemies still left for it to attack, and it has health left, and I'm not seeing it get hit by anything big, but it's disappearing. Here we go. Oh, it's getting hit now. So am I. So we got that split arrow, drop another one of these, sort of take some of their attention off of me. I mean, I can just recast that if it goes away. Alright. Portal scroll is nice. Dooku the false god, if I'm saying that right. Alright. I don't... What are these goat men? And they leap. So... That's a really faint, what I'm guessing is electricity, judging by what's going on here. Little electricity balls he's throwing. They're really faint looking. And I believe I've got the graphics turned all the way up. Oh, of course it's going to lock up really hard. Oh, when it disconnects you, doesn't it start you all the way back in town? It does! Oh, are you kidding me? Oh, what do you have to say?
I've traveled inland.
Okay, just stop. So I guess there was something. Travel to the... Is that here? It is. But I was all the way up there. No! Crud. Ah. I want to go back out there and find all that stuff that he dropped. Or it. Whatever the heck it was. It said it was a false god. It looked just kind of like an idol that had powers. Oh, now I have to figure out... Well, I guess I could probably just... What? Oh, I bet it's unidentified. Well, we'll get rid of that. And we'll identify it right away. Okay, requires level 5, adds 1 to 4 physical damage to attacks with bows, and it gives plus 14 maximum life. So that's actually pretty nice for, you know, the level we're at right now. Oh, and then these essence things. Cool, we'll do this, and then we will probably get back to town. Alright, here we go. Falmoil Bloodsinger, it looks like. Ooh, okay, getting hit here. Make sure we've got some mana. Not real sure what that debuff that I'm getting occasionally is, but what are these things that she's firing out? Some sort of blood magic, maybe? Alright, Orb of Transmutation, it looked like, and Whispering Essence of Greed. And I believe that is my second one, because I picked one up during that last playthrough that got messed up. So that means, because in the last playthrough I said I wasn't going to use the essence because I had no idea how rare coming up against these essence monster things was. And I mentioned that while I have been playing the game, while I'm not on here, I am not playing on Essence League, I'm playing on Standard League. So it is a little bit different. I'm also not playing the same class. And I'm doing things, you know, so weird, out of order. Well, I don't know. I've done all the optional stuff, and I'm trying not to get ahead of myself on the main story because I want this to feel rather blind as a blind playthrough. Alright, passive skills. A ballistics mastery. And 1 point away from aspect of the eagle. Ballistics mastery gives me 20% increased projectile speed, 15% increased projectile damage, and 20 to dexterity, which is nice. And then bow damage and attack speed, so more damage and more attack speed. This is why I didn't go down the projectile damage thing, and, you know, I grabbed the attack speed anyway because I already knew we were going to get 15% projectile damage plus the dexterity, which gives me accuracy and evasion. And then I was going to get more damage right here, and then this here. So I wanted that attack speed first to make sure I was hitting fast, and then I was going to start hitting hard later anyway. Oh, I guess I did not apply those correctly. Apply. There we go. I'm about to get another one anyway here pretty soon. The climb. Is there going to be a waypoint anywhere towards the beginning? Because if not... Oh, okay. What are you? Oh, no. Back up. Look, more essence things. Okay, back off. Flame Hellions. Okay, so using fire on them probably isn't all that great. Well, I believe I'm going to end the episode here because I am out of time. Like, comment, subscribe if you liked my videos, and if you have any suggestions for me, all that. This is Blackfire signing off.